plus TXT. Because it was a crazy time in Chicago, let me tell you. So we arrived Thursday, at least Lenny and I did. So I met up with her in Vancouver. So I had enough time between my flight from Calgary to Van and then from Van to Chicago. So I had like left my house, I think it was like 4 in the morning to catch my flight. And my dad, shout out to my dad who drove me to the airport, drove me early in the morning and then went through customs like really easy. The guy there was like, what are you going for to Chicago? And I was like, oh, I'm going to Lollapalooza. And he's like, oh, is there like any like bands you're specifically going for? And I'm like, yeah, TXT and J-Hope. And he was like, who? And I was like, they're K-pop. And he was like, ah, okay, have a great time. I'll see you later. And I was like, cool beans.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks. And then met Lenny, and the flight to Chicago was like pretty easy. We just like chilled. There was like we had the window in the aisle seat. She was sitting in the aisle and I was sitting by the window. And
there was like a twofer kind of thing.
No, it was 3, but there was nobody in the middle of us.
That's even better then.
Yeah. So we had like an empty seat between the two of us. And that was like really nice. It was like a pretty full flight though. Like all of the flights that I was on were all very full, which was fun. And then we got to Chicago, and Yancy, she was also traveling that day. So she actually had a really rough time. Both her and Tanya had really rough times getting to Chicago.
I heard about Tanya's misadventures.
Yes. Yancy, so she flew out of the smaller airport that's in Toronto, like the Midway one. And her flight was delayed twice. So, and then she got on the plane and they were like, there's a mechanical issue, you gotta get off. So we were like, is she ever gonna get here? We were like in the Airbnb because we didn't have the hotel till the next day for when Tanya came. And we were like, is she ever gonna get here? And then she finally got there and everything was fine. Thank God. And then the next day we got to the hotel and we just like stored our luggage while we waited for Tanya to come. And we did some like Namjooning. We like went to a cafe and
the photos were so cute.
Yeah, we went to a museum and we were very like Namjooning around. It was like very cute. We went to the beach and had like lunch, and that was all like really cool and nice. And then Tanya had like messaged us like crying. She was like, my flight's been canceled, like outright canceled, and she had just gotten to the airport. Actually, thank God she was at the airport because they booked her on the flight that was like leaving in like 30 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah, normally when it get canceled, like especially like this, like on the day of, they're usually pretty good at like booking you for like now.
Usually, but
it also depends on like the company.
Yeah, Air Canada has been, especially in Quebec and Ontario,
Air Canada has been really bad this year.
I think Lenny and I got really lucky, and I haven't heard as many issues coming from like the West Coast as I have.
Have you seen all the issues on like TikTok and stuff?
Yeah,
it's really bad.
Pearson is like the worst place because originally I was going to go like fly out of Calgary, have a stop in Pearson, and then go to Chicago.
Yeah, avoid Pearson at all costs.
Yeah, and
general.
Yeah, my dad was like, maybe don't go through Pearson, maybe just fly to Vancouver. And I was like, you know what, Dad? You're right.
Well, also that means your flight to Chicago will be not alone.
Yeah,
even better.
Exactly. Yeah, we planned it out perfectly that we were taking the same flight and everything, so it was great. And finally Tanya came. We all checked into the hotel. And then we went out for food. We went to the Korean barbecue place. Okay, so if you saw my Instagram, it was the cutest place ever. They had like a giant sign outside that said, we welcome BTS Army. They had like BTS like photos everywhere. It was so freaking cute. And the owner was like, I'm so excited you guys are seeing BTS and TXT. I wish I could go. But she got really lucky because the next day, actually, TXT, Jimin, and Bang PD all went to the same restaurant that we did.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't find out till later, but they literally, after TXT's show, they were at that restaurant having Korean barbecue.
Nice.
And it was so good. Like, the food was
I have
Ooh.
yet to have Korean barbecue. I really want to experience that with you guys.
It's so good.
So
Oh, we had such a good time. It was so good. And we were all together and yeah, it was like our first like meal together. We had
I'm just happy you guys like managed to
all
all
make
get
it.
together.
God. Yeah, cuz like the hotel like whatever, like we can like cover it. It's not the hotel wasn't
Mhm.
the issue that I was most concerned about. It's that Tanya had Yancy's bracelets for Lollapalooza.
Oh yeah.
So she wouldn't have been able to get in because it was under Tanya's name. So that would have been a problem. But it all
Mhm.
worked out. We all got Korean barbecue. It was delicious. And then the next day we got ready for TXT. We like did a little bit more exploring. We went to like the Chicago Bean and took some photos there. Met up with Tanya's friends from Chile. And we got to like take photos and meet each other. We had like Chicago pizza. We had like this whole thing.
You
And
really cannot go to like Chicago
without having
getting
pizza.
some deep dish pizza.
It's true. And we went to like one of the more like famous ones that are there. And we actually our server was a Jimin stan, like a Jimin bias. And
Nice.
he was like, because I forget sometimes what merch I'm wearing. So I was wearing my full Jin shirt, and he was like, "Is that Jin from BTS?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm a fan too." And we were like exchanging our tattoos because he had like a tattoo of serendipity on his arm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we were like all like exchanging excitement. It was crazy. Yeah, we met a fanboy in real life who served us pizza. It was great. And then we got ready for TXT. And you guys probably saw on the Instagram like my outfit and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, like they really shoved people through security pretty quickly. Like there wasn't like a long line to like get in. We were
That's
pretty
good,
like
though.
quick. And they were like checking bags more thoroughly, I think, than they were like at any of the two stadiums that we've been to. So that was kind of nice. And the good thing was is we could bring an empty water bottle, and then they had like hydration stations to like fill up your water.
That's really good.
Yeah, so we didn't spend like any money like at Lollapalooza, thank God, because like it was so expensive.
Yep.
And we get in and we're like taking photos, and the greatest thing to ever happen to us merch wise, let me tell you what happened. So we were going towards the merch line and we're like, okay, we'll just check out if they have anything for TXT, because I wanted to see if they had like the light stick. And I was gonna get one there, or like any of the other like t-shirts and stuff. And we're like looking, and I don't know if you guys saw the like merch list on Twitter. There was like a blue sweater that like everybody and their mother wanted.
Yep.
So we like lined up, and there was like two other people ahead of us, and it said on the sweater that it was not going to be sold until tomorrow. And we were all discussing. There wasn't like anything for TXT anymore. All they had was the album. So we were like, oh, that's kind of sad. And then we were like looking at the Hobie merch to see what we wanted. And that sign comes off the blue sweater. And we're all just like, are they selling the blue sweater right now? Are they selling it? There was like one other person ahead of us, and they were like, yeah, because people were asking it for so much, we're going to sell the blue sweater. And so we got the blue sweater a day ahead.
Nice.
Like the timing. I have never been this lucky with merch. Honestly.
I mean, you guys basically had like first pickings too, so you had like the size you wanted.
Yeah. And then Yancy was like, I don't know if I want to get it, and the sign immediately comes off. She's like, I'm buying it. Doesn't matter. And then
I would have done the same.
Yeah.
So big fat mood.
Yeah. So Lenny, Yancy, and I all got the blue sweater, and then she got something for Cad too, like a t-shirt. And we were like so. I've never had that experience. Like we were talking about it for like an hour after it happened because we just could not believe.
That's crazy.
And there was like nobody in line, so we were just like. The funniest part was like putting it in our clear bags, and we were just like shoving it on the inside of them. It was so stupid. And then we went to the stage with TXT. So TXT in general, amazing performances. I had to watch it later because I couldn't see. I like legitimately couldn't see any of them.
Thankfully now it's on YouTube.
Now it's on YouTube, so I can watch it. And we did watch it like afterwards. I was like, oh my god, this is the first time I'm seeing this concert. Amazing. Even though I was there. I think the problem was mostly because that particular setup for the stage is an EDM stage, so you don't need to see the DJ while he's doing
Yeah.
his thing. So it's all like graphics and stuff on the side, which is fine for EDM. But I wish they would have used the screens to like show them so that I could see what was going on.
Yeah.
Because we were like pretty close to the front, but like there was all these tall people in front of me,
Mhm.
and the only way I could
That's
see
the
it,
thing with like outdoors concert and festivals is
Yeah.
that a lot of the time like you're not really there to see the artist.
No.
Or you're there for the vibe and the music.
pretty much, yeah.
So
Luckily there was this guy in front of me who was like taller, and he was like recording the whole thing, so I was like, I'll just look at your phone. I'll be watching the concert through your phone. But TXT, like, my god, they are amazing live. Like, oh my god. Yeonjun with the him in tank tops, I'm having an issue
because
with
like
this.
I was watching it live like with Kat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like naming the songs from the first note. And
Oh,
was
I
like,
was screaming them.
And she was like, "Is that song?" And I was like, "Yes, that song."
I was literally screaming the lyrics. It was so funny.
The thing is, I also had like a technical difficulty because the day of the TXT set, our AC broke. And so I had to like we went to Jacob's brothers for the day while they were like patching it up.
Yeah.
Because it's not like fully fixed. Right now it's a temporary fix.
Perfect.
But at least we're not dying.
Yeah.
It was like 78 degrees in this room alone.
Chicago?
It was like really hot. So I was like,
yeah,
I don't like this is not cool. This is not nice. This is not what I want.
Yeah.
And so I managed to like stream it from his brothers, so Kat and I could still watch it.
That's good. Yeah, the TXT's day, it was hot. Like it was 30 degrees like both days of the show, so it was boiling. And Chicago, because it's by like the lake, it's humid all the time.
Yeah.
And so 30 plus humidity, it was boiling hot. Luckily for TXT stage, because they were at the back of the park, all the skyscrapers are over there. So by the time we got over to their set, the sun had already passed through.
Oh, that's good.
The skyscrapers, so it was totally fine. It was still hot though, and with like a bunch of like EDM guys just like there with their sweaty bodies. It was interesting, to say the least. I appreciated their enthusiasm, I guess. I don't know.
But then Hobie, we got an extra 10 minutes.
So, yes, let's talk about Hobie's day. J-Hope. So, as I'm assuming some of you saw on Twitter that ARMY was there from like 8 a.m. Until Hobie's set because they wanted to be in the front. And, thank God we are like some of the nicest fandom ever, because security was like singing our praises, and so was the Chicago police. I saw
apparently like I saw a tweet that like security and stuff was like, make place for a mosh pit, blah blah, and ARMY flat out said no.
We're not doing a mosh pit, y'all.
No.
That's not how this works. So a shout out to like the ARMYs who like stayed there from 8 a.m. because it was hotter than it was on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And because where the main stage was, direct sunlight, there was no skyscrapers to block any of that direct sun, so it was like 30 plus degrees the entire day. And we had gotten there at 2 p.m. So Tanya's friends from Chile were there at like I want to say like 10 a.m.
Okay.
So they were there quite a lot longer than we were, and we got there afterwards. We had like food, and then we walked over there, and then we filled up like our water bottles and stuff, and then walked around and like took photos and of like our fits and stuff. And we didn't get in the merch line because we got our merch the day before.
Yeah. So also, so you didn't have to lug that around. So
no, and so sorry to the ARMYs who didn't get the merch. I'm so sorry. There was a long line for that too. And and we wanted to see Charlie XCX. She was really good. Like really, really good. I really enjoyed her set a lot. She had like tons of energy. It was like very good. Kid Laroi, not good. Like there was like, we had a really terrible experience with his fans, which kind of ruined his set in general. But I would also say even before that, his energy was pretty like low. Not that I wanted to like spend a lot of energy, because at that point we hadn't gone to refill water. Like we couldn't leave. We were basically like stuck in the position that we were stuck in, and we were staying there.
I was seeing like I saw like the end, like the second half of that set.
Yeah. It was just not fun, and like we had run into these guys who were like behind us, and they were like pushing us like to the point where like one girl had fallen over and was like getting trampled by these guys because they were just like, Tanya almost got into a fight. Let's just
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Because they were just like pushing, and like it was really unfortunate because they really ruined my experience for Kid Laroi, and also probably I'm not gonna like listen to his music. Like they probably ruined like a potential fan because of how terrible they were. And it's all these like dude bros who are like drunk, and you know, like they can't distinguish anything. It's just like stupidity. And then at one point we had like parted ways for like security to come and like help, which they didn't, but whatever. And then we were like, just go to the front. Like if you want to go to the front, then just go. Like we're giving you an open invitation. You're gonna leave anyway, so
yeah.
And my thing is like, if they asked nicely to like go up to the front, I'd be like, yeah, sure, like whatever. It's your favorite artist, so I would hope that like the same respect would have been shown for like my favorite artist. But of course they didn't do that because they're just a bunch of dude bros. It was like an hour that I was just like, can we just like wrap this up? Like I'm really getting tired of, and it was like hot, and we had been standing for probably like 5 hours at that point. So I was just like, let's just wrap this shit up. Like, I'm tired, man. I gotta go. And then we had like an hour break in between, and we were just like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Hobie's gonna come, and then it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And then J-Hope's, there are no words. Okay, so let me tell you, when I didn't have perspective of like where I was in relation to everybody else. And then I see like all of these clips later, and also like how loud we were, how many of us there were, how many army bombs like lit up. I had no perspective on this because
I saw that because they were panning over the city, over the crowd, so I saw all of that.
I had and I was no like,
this is absolutely insane.
It was so wild. Like I thought that we were loud as in like, you know, like SoFi Las Vegas.
No,
I had no concept of how loud we were until I watched all of these clips back later, and I'm like, half the time we're louder than the backing track.
Yes.
Oh my god, I am so happy that he was able to experience that and be like, even though
he got hit by that wave of love, and he was stressed about it before. I think it helped.
It helped a lot to see like, you know, like our army bombs. And I saw like a lot of comments later being like, those glow orbs were pretty cool.
Okay, so we got a new name.
Glow orbs. Glowing orbs. It was quite funny.
My favorite will always be the warballs, though.
Me too. My favorite will always be warballs. That experience was like something, even though I had like beforehand had a really bad experience, Hobie's set like overtook that, and I completely had forgotten about like how sore I was, how hot I was, how thirsty I was. Like it didn't even matter at that point.
Like our AC was working, and I was literally sweating the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in a chair.
I swear I lost like 10 pounds just in sweat because of how hot
so,
it was.
Like, I can't even begin to imagine.
It was hot. It was really, really hot. And we're all like packed in there like little sardines. And hilariously, like, so they were handing out these like glowing bracelets for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the light comparison. Our light sticks were way brighter than those like wrist lights. So funny.
The army bombs are literally brighter than our our futures combined.
And like I also had I didn't realize that there was lights also shining on top of us because of how bright our glow sticks were. I like had again like no perspective until I like watched it back later. And I was just like, wow. Like,
it was literally like a sea of light.
Yeah. And how far back we were, too. Like, because the other stage is, like, distance-wise, it's not that far from the main stage. So, like, to see our lights going almost all the way to the next stage, crazy. Like, again, because we were, like, we were on the left-hand side of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of near the front. Like, I could see the stage and I could see like obviously the big screens that they had, so it was like a pretty good position.
Yeah, Tanya sent us a photo.
Yeah, it was like perfect. But I couldn't tell scale. Like, I couldn't at all like tell you the scale of things.
Yeah, you guys were Jimin side, right?
Yeah.
You're like on the left.
Yeah. We were on the left. We couldn't see Jimin, but we could see him on the stairs.
We were on Jimin's side.
Yeah. We were on Jimin's side.
It is now called the Jimin side.
Which was so cute. I'm so glad that Jimin was able to come and support Hobie. I think, like, of all the members...
Were you guys able to see the V-Live afterwards?
Yes, so we were walking back to the hotel, and all of us had our phones up. Like, every army...
So adorable.
Yeah, every army, like, walking back to their hotels all had their phones like this. Mm-hmm. And we walked past, like, we got ice cream afterwards because we were just, like, so hot and so dehydrated. So, like, dehydrated. Very dehydrated.
Yeah, I'm just glad, like, even like TXT, like they had Bang PD, they had Jimin, they had Hobie, and like vice versa with Hobie, he had them being there. So, because I mean, for like all of them, it's a pretty big deal, you know. Like TXT was closing their tour with that performance.
I know, which was kind of wild.
And then Hobie was like, it was his first like solo performance.
Well, and afterwards,
like for an extended period of time. Of course, they did solo stages. But...
Yeah, and to do it with like without your members, and to do it for like an hour and 10 minutes because he got that extra. And the reason he got that was because the fans
in a country that it's not your own too.
Yeah. Well, and because all the fans were so early, that's why they decided to bump up the time, was because we had been waiting since 8 a.m. to see Hobie, and it was really funny because the mayor and the Lollapalooza director...
Yeah, they announced another 10 years of
another 10 years. But not only that, I think to have this realization that Sunday, historically, of Lollapalooza is the lowest attended day. We sold out the day. That's 105,000 tickets for one day. To sell it out, and then to also, like... the scale at which we showed up was incredible. And to see like everybody at the festival, like I kind of had this fear of like nobody's gonna come, and so it's gonna be like a bunch of like dude bros watching Hobie was kind of terrifying. But like to see like army everywhere, and to like be handed photo cards, we were like trading things back and forth, we were talking about like our favorite members, we were showing off our like digs, and to have like that experience at like a festival vibe was totally like comforting and exciting, and like, oh my god, we're all like screaming together. I swear to god, we lost our minds. Like, it was crazy.
I'm just glad they had that experience too.
Yeah, like it's
totally
special.
Different. Yeah,
it's completely like, let me just say, festivals and concerts are not the same. They are not in the same vein whatsoever. there's definitely something to be said about, you know, like a festival vibe. Like you have to be prepared to like basically not eat, not drink,
Yeah.
stand for like 12 hours, be in the sun, like all this kind of stuff. You got to be prepared for a festival. And you can't sit realistically. Like we were sitting, I think between, or no, just before Charlie came on, we like had sat down, and that was the last time that I had ever felt the ground. um, yeah, yeah, that was the last time I felt the ground that day.
Like both sets was absolutely insane.
Oh, I like, okay, listen, hearing Ego for the first time live, I was screaming.
Not
Tanya was crying.
It's actually the first time he's actually able to perform it for Army.
I know.
The last time it was online.
It was online. This is the first real live performance. I got to see it live. I don't think you understand. It was wild. And Chicken Noodle Soup also, like, the first time. Becky G, she's such a troll. I can't even. I literally can't. She had, like, posted that she was, like, watching the video, and then she, like, darted on stage, and we're all just, like, freaking out.
Just see the tweet from, I think it was an Army saying, bro, she teleported.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it felt, to be honest. And I'm like standing beside like Tanya, and she's screaming.
Oh, Tanya probably died like 5 seconds in, not even.
Oh, 5 seconds in, she was sobbing. So yeah, that's at the level that we were at the whole night. Yep. And then when Becky G came on, she was like screaming. And then like just screaming the lyrics because you have to, obviously.
Well, yeah, and also Tanya is our resident Latina.
Yeah. I was also like really shocked about Just Dance, to see that live. Oh my god, I died. I literally died. I like levitated.
Okay, when Dynamite came on,
I was shocked.
I was fully expecting Jimin to just show up.
I know. Well, I think because Hobie was surprised that he had come, so he wanted Jimin to come on stage.
It was like, if it wasn't like not so last minute, it was like
he would have been invited on stage.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I really.
I mean, he talked about it on the V-Live.
He did, yeah. I really enjoyed the Dynamite, like, the Tropical remix, which is probably one of my favorite remixes of Dynamite. It's so
refreshing.
It's so refreshing. I loved it. And the new choreography, like, slay. Also the fact that, like,
at least the lab didn't troll us this time.
At least they didn't troll us. But it's funny to me, again, to, like, watch it back and be like, we were louder than the backing. Like, we were singing Dynamite, basically, that whole time.
Why would you not?
It was just wild.
It's and then Dynamite.
There was like a couple of moments that like really blew my mind. Like obviously all the songs from Jack in the Box were amazing. Cypher was a mind-blowing moment for me. Piece by Piece was amazing. Hafsa,
the transformation from Jack back to Hope, like, excuse me?
When he came out with that black outfit, I was like, we're done. We are done. Like, it's an immediate, we are no longer living anymore.
The hair!
Bro, the long hair.
The long, like, curly hair. Excuse me?
I can't.
Like, who allowed you?
Who allowed you to be this attractive? Like, when he said sing it, during that moment in, what is that song?
Was it in Hope World?
No, it wasn't a Hope World. Although that was an amazing moment for him.
He was so taken aback.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna cry, but I was like, you gotta continue the song.
He looked like he was about to burst out crying. Poor guy.
Yeah. And like in Just Dance, I swear our screams then were louder than we did the first time. I think that was in Brazil. Was the first time that they started doing J-Hope during that break in Just Dance. Mm-hmm. We were definitely louder at Lollapalooza.
I mean, it was, I think he mentioned it last time he did perform that song was during that tour. So
Hassang, when he said sing it and we're singing it back to him, I swear I've seen this tweet like a billion times. And the first time I had like seen that on Twitter, I like watched my video back and I'm like, okay, we're loud. But then I didn't realize how loud we were until I watched the official video. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my god, when he says sing it, we sang it. Army showed up.
Yeah. And he was worried we wouldn't.
It was...
We showed up IRL, we showed up online, we showed up everywhere.
14 million people tuned in.
Yeah. That was one of them.
Yeah, and then the like 100,000 people that were watching live.
Because you had like people on the Hulu, and then you had everybody else around the world in Weverse.
Yeah, Weverse had the 14. I'd be interested to see how many was on Hulu and how many.
I didn't have a choice because like streams were lagging. Like at first I was the one that was supposed to like stream it to CAD.
Right.
But Hulu does the cheeky thing where your screen is black when you stream it. So
jerks. Yeah, for like a first time for Weverse to be live, I think they did an okay job. I would have appreciated it to be like stable, especially for like the armies who were trying to like tune in.
Yeah, TXT was fine. TXT were good.
I think it was the scale, like having 14.
But there was a lot more people for Hobie.
Yeah.
So
having 14.9 million people tuning in at the same time, you're gonna experience some lag. I hope your servers are okay.
Thankfully, it is now on YouTube.
Thankfully, yeah, I'm really surprised that they released it all on YouTube.
Because I had a friend record the both of them, and then it came out on YouTube, and I was like,
And just to like end that concert with Future was just such a perfect ending to that.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense. I loved watching like Equal Sign, Arson, More, like all of them were so good.
I remember I was like on the Twitter group chat, the Discord group chat, plus in Discord with CAD.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, he's gonna end it with More." I was like, "He started with More.
What do you mean?" And surprisingly, like with how new those songs were, we were on point every single time those songs came on. It was beautiful.
That album has no skips.
No.
So
not even one. Just like the variety of dance he did, like the variety of songs, you know, the fact that he did like the BTS songs plus his album, like
he like incorporated all of him.
Yeah.
In that set list.
I think also like
he told his story through that
the whole thing. Yeah, I think so too, because to start off with like the harder like the harder like rap at the beginning with like More and Cypher and Arson, and then Dynamite is sort of like this like Blue Side sort of switched. We're sort of switching genres
Blue
now.
Side I almost cried. Okay,
I did. I looked over at Tanya. She's like sobbing. I'm like, I have like tears coming down my face. We're just like, Blue Side.
Yeah, I literally screamed, "Oh my god, Blue Side!" And Chad was like, "It's Blue Side."
Yeah, and like that kind of like shifted the point, and then we had like Dynamite and Ego and. You know, Future ending us. It felt like really like happy, and
it really felt like this is like the hard feelings that I'm feeling right now, and then it just transitioned back and like really from Jack to Hope, really.
Yeah. It was so beautiful. I'm so happy and glad that I got to experience that live, because it was like one once in a lifetime sort of thing to experience, and like not BTS getting me to travel to like 3 states over the past like year. Like seriously, I've been to like 3 major US cities because of BTS. LA, Las Vegas, and Chicago. Swear
Absolutely.
to God. Swear they make me do
this. Does it mean that we're ready for the next album now?
No. I'm not over this one. What do you mean? Like, I'm not over it.
Because you know it's coming, right?
Yeah, Junie. I think also like Yoongi has been active recently, so it's kind of terrifying.
Yoongi's been taking family trips.
I'm scared. Is all I need to say about that.
Also, slight tangent. Speaking of Yoongi taking trips, Jin telling him to check his account because he sent him allowance money and then not sending him anything.
I can't. Why are they like this?
They have like the best dynamic. Like these two. You know, Yoongi's only Hyung. That's what it is.
It really is. It really only he could get away with that. I can't. Yeah,
I had to make that tangent.
That's so funny. Yeah, and then we walked back to the hotel watching the V Live
mm-hmm. at the same time. As you should.
Yeah, at the same time. And
I went to bed watching the little buddies.
Just to like see like Hobie so like relaxed and happy and him saying like, thank God Jimin came because like I finally was at ease and I could like eat and like enjoy my time here.
Aren't they like also kind of eternal roommates too? Like,
it's true.
Yeah, they kind of like feed off of each other kind of thing.
And Jimin as like a person is the most comforting person I've ever met on this planet.
So supportive, and so comforting.
If it was going to be anybody to fly all the way to Chicago to support a member, it's going to be Jimin. Yeah. And I think for Hobie, Jimin is his comfort person, like the person that he turns to for comfort.
I think vice versa too.
Yeah, and the fact that he was in the audience and he was like having such a good time and like dancing to Ego and like freaking out with chicken noodle soup with us, like and also like realizing like how loud we were and just like being just as excited as we were, and also like Hobie talking in like, you know, in what is that song called? My brain, I swear. Safety Zone, you know, looking up at Jimin and being like, you're my safety zone. BTS Army is my safety zone.
Also,
makes me want to cry.
Shout out to Bang PD, always there for his artists.
I love that. Oh my god, Daddy Bang PD. I saw
the Crocs though,
the yellow Crocs and like the TXT merch.
I have a friend in a group chat. She changed her name literally to Bang PD Nim's Crocs.
It's true. Yeah, the yellow Crocs really just like cemented him as like dad status. It was great. I loved it. It was such a good time.
Like so supportive and so proud of his artist.
I
like,
love it. I can't. And also, like, the fact that Hobie, so, like, the next day, he was, like, obviously very well received by everybody. And even people who, like, aren't armies and, like, weren't fans before, even if they were like, this is not my kind of music, but I respect it, I understand it, I appreciate the, like, enthusiasm for the fandom and how much they love their artists, was really, like, sweet and... I was like, do you understand now? Do you know like why we love these artists? Do you get it? Well, and I saw like a couple comments being like, I was surrounded by like, I thought it was only going to be like Asian fans who came, but it was like everybody, and they were singing in like 3 different languages.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, and you know, just like that like realization of like how big it was in general. Like again, I didn't have scale or perspective. So to like understand it later was kind of shocking, but like in a good way.
It's so special.
It's so special. And then the next day we're still not recovered, but we met up with Tanya's friends from Chile for like the last time, and we like took some photos together and like talked about Hobie obviously, and then Tanya and Yancy had to go to the airport earlier. Lenny and my flight was quite later, so we didn't leave. We went back to Chinatown and went to a cup sleeve event and like hung out with some more armies and got a bubble tea and like went to the K-pop store and like did all that kind of stuff. And then we went home and I stayed an extra day in Vancouver, so Lenny and I just hung out together. We just went to all the K-pop
you asked Lenny to make you spend your money.
Yeah, so. Which I did. I was surprised. I only like left with like the sweater and like a couple of socks from the places in the US, and then I go to Canada and it's like, whee!
I mean, you don't get that exchange rate, right? So
no, the exchange rate, man, kills you. Yeah. Kills you. But I would say like overall, my experience was
out of 10. Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Rate it. your trip, not like the sets, the trip.
Oh, easily like an 11 out of 10. Easily. I love getting back together with our maples and meeting Yancy for the first time, and we were just, it was a blast. Like, I wouldn't take any of that.
I say this all the time, but at one point we really need to like organize something that's not necessarily BTS related, just so we can hang out.
Yeah. It's true. It's kind of crazy. We have
such a special group.
It's true. Like, we've met so many times, and the fact that we still like want to meet up together, we talk every day, all of these kind of things, like, is so special. And I'm so glad that BTS was the one to bring us together, because it just makes us like such a special, stronger group at the end of the day.
Yeah. So we have that go-to group to go fangirl with, you know?
It's amazing. And I was surrounded by so many other armies. It was amazing. Yeah, it was unreal. I'm still trying to like, it's been a week and I'm still just kind of like, I saw this tweet that kind of really summed it up nicely. It's like, I went and had an experience at a BTS event. My molecules got rearranged and I'm a different person now. And yet everybody still sees me as the same person.
Yeah.
And I'm not the same person. I got like rearranged and I'm changed now. That's kind of how I feel. Like we had our morning meeting this morning, and I'm like, I can't even describe to you how amazing it was. Like, I don't have any words. Yeah, like if you're not a part of the army, you just don't get it. You just don't understand.
Because like the way I see it and the way I feel it too is that you get so much, like, even just from watching it live online.
Yeah.
But when you go in person, it's that experience enhanced by at least 1,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's something else too. And I think like people who were,
and
like,
I'm glad I was able to do both.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think like from a local perspective, I think it's like one of those things that you can't exactly explain in words. It's just something you have to witness. Yeah. And for them to try to like explain it is kind of the way we feel all the time with BTS. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you understand now. Like, I can't explain it to you. Yeah. You just have to experience it. And even like I saw some armies being like, yeah, even though the security guard, that one of them anyway, was like, I can't believe how much dedication and loyalty fans have for this particular group, and the fact that you guys are like the kindest and nicest like fandom, and that you come out here and support even like the artists beforehand. We were like cheering for them and like being excited and like waving our army bombs, like all this kind of stuff.
Because, like, why would you not, right?
Why would you not? Yeah, and I think it's such a special thing to be a part of.
Share the love, share the purple.
Yeah. It's just such a special experience that I wouldn't, like, exchange for anything. My wallet cries itself to sleep, but I'm not.
Doesn't your wallet cry every single time, and it happens again and again and again?
Every time I get a notice from Hive merch, it's, like, quaking. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's true. But yeah, that was like my experience in a nutshell. Honestly, like if you want to see more, just go. I put like a highlight thing on our Instagram so you can see all of the things.
It's good. It's really good.
There's some extra things, like especially the screaming ones are just hilarious. I like, you can't help yourself. You have to.
Yeah.